I understood how important it is for America to have more immigrants because this is the core of this nation, no matter what, again, anyone says these days, but immigrants are the core here. So I felt like this is the area where I would feel the happiest and where I would be needed.
I Am Consciously Curious, a podcast for those that are searching for meaning and fulfillment in their lives. My name is Victor Chan, and I'm on a mission to find out why people do what they do. I've interviewed white-collar to blue-collar, entrepreneurs to passion projects, and life is just too short to not produce meaningful work. Thanks for tuning in. Well, everything's going. We're live, guys. We have Mia Isberto and Anastasiia. How do you say it? Bilousko? Bilousko. I forgot an L. Oh my God, Bilousko. From is it AB Law?
Yes.
Hey, okay. And I wanted to. I think we're going to go everywhere today, but this will very much so be a personal, but also professional reflection on your journeys. I first met. So for everyone listening, me as a cousin. And Anna, I met you at a barbecue.
You did.
You
Mother's
did.
Day.
Oh, you remember? Oh my gosh. I Mia, thanks for asking. I know this is going to be a great, conversation, but also like a promo piece for the law firm. But how timely is it? I can't imagine how busy you guys are with people needing assistance and guidance on how to get their legal status, right? So I want to get to that point eventually, but for the listeners that have no idea who we are and who you are, like, I guess, can we start with, if it's a personal thing, like, were you guys friends before you started working together? Like, how did this all come to be?
So we've been friends for over a decade,
pretty much. Oh my
goodness. And we met through work.
Okay.
Frankly, I think through most of our adulthood we've only worked together with like small breaks.
How
but
lucky.
I think like most of the jobs we've shared, they've been together.
How lucky.
Yeah.
And so what were your positions at the time when you met?
So at the time when we met, Mia was still going to school. So she was working as the host at this restaurant downtown.
This cool restaurant? Was it LJ? Or was it somewhere else?
No, it was somewhere else.
Oh,
It was somewhere else.
This predates Elche.
Oh. Okay.
So we're going way back here.
Okay. And what were you doing?
And I was working at that restaurant as well because I just moved to Chicago. So I was looking to meet friends, and I sure did.
Oh, wow. And were you both hosts?
So she was the host, and I was doing serving, banquets, stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you? And where did you immigrate from?
Ukraine.
And did you have experience doing this in Ukraine?
So I was a lawyer in Ukraine. I graduated law school in Ukraine, but I basically moved to Chicago almost immediately. So I would say my legal career unfolded here in Chicago.
Okay. There's so much to unpack right there. So I guess at what point did you know you wanted to practice law?
I feel like I've always known it since kindergarten, but I feel like that has always been so obvious to me that at some point I wanted to put it on pause and explore other areas of life to see like maybe like this isn't it. Maybe like there would be other things I could be more interested in. But then soon enough I understood like I was right at the kindergarten stage, like I am an attorney, like
you
that's
knew from the get-go.
I knew from the get-go.
And how much time passed between through all your side quests, and what were some of these side quests?
I would say there weren't that many of the side quests. So just that first job where I met Mia at the restaurant was the only one, and then I went straight into legal right after that.
But you said you were an attorney in Ukraine, so all your side quests came after you immigrated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Almost by necessity, because it's like you're probably like, and it's how unfortunate that it doesn't laterally transfer.
Yes, you do have to go to law school here all over again. Like that is the thing. So I did have to do school again.
And so how long were you practicing in Ukraine?
So I wasn't. That's the thing. So I got my degrees. I got licensed, and then immediately I came here.
Because of the war?
The war was just starting back then.
Yeah.
But I think in general, I just kind of got disappointed by how things worked in Ukraine because at that point, and still, there is like a high level of corruption. And being a lawyer over there in those post-Soviet countries and being a lawyer here, that's two different things. Like over there, if you're an attorney, it's almost like you're pretending to be an attorney.
The judicial system's completely different.
Yeah, it's not like it is right here.
Okay.
Here we still, I hope so at least.
You
like,
still
that's
believe
what
in the
we-
system?
Well, we like to think that there is still a rule of law here.
Yeah. At what point did you realize that? Because how unfortunate. How long is that process to, go to? Is your undergrad and then law school? Like what's that process like in Ukraine? Because like how a lot of sunk cost that goes into this, time and money and energy that goes into this, only to leave.
So good thing about Ukraine, no money really go into your education. Like
it's
once you got the
subsidized?
scholarship, the state pays for your degrees. So that's like the cool part about it. Everything else wasn't though.
That's the catch.
So when did you realize?
It was actually an interesting journey. So when I started so in Ukraine, if you decide to become a lawyer, you basically start right away. So like your bachelor's is going to be law, then your master's is going to be law, and then you're done. There is no such thing as law school. You just do the university and it's all going to be legal education. So I remember, so when I lived in Ukraine, I actually have been through two different revolutions and two different outthrowings of the government.
Wow.
So the first one was the Orange Revolution, and I witnessed it when I was still pretty young. And I feel like that was the first time when in Ukraine we got like our first real Ukrainian president who wasn't a pro-Russian guy and who had like the right course for the people. And that was the first time when we were actually able to get into school fare by just passing like the test and getting like our scholarship subsidized. So that's how I got to like a top law school, like the Ivy League of Ukraine, somewhere where I couldn't even dream to be if the system used to be the way it used to be before the revolution. But then after the revolution, we felt like we had like hope that things will be fair and things will be like the way they should be. So that was pretty much like my experience through the bachelor's. Like we were still like pretty hopeful.
Yeah.
But then we got a different president. The government changed again. It became like pro-Russian as it used to be. Like we got another guy who had a different course to the east, who was like friends with Putin, with Medvedev, the president at that time. Things started rapidly changing. Corruption came back. I felt it on myself, and suddenly like things changed at the law school. Like suddenly like you have to pay to get into masters, like you have to know people. And that to me was like such a big disappointment, I remember. And then there is another revolution in 2014 to overthrow the pro-Russian guy. And that's the one I personally participated in when I was a student. Like, so I did spend a lot of time there.
In the protest?
And the protest, yes. So that's when, again, like we were feeling so hopeful that things will be better, that things will change.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, they didn't.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, I guess I tried to personally participate in changing the system. This is not working out. Unfortunately, I cannot be a lawyer in a country like that. I need something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you stuck it out and finished it.
So I did finish my master's
Yeah.
there. I finished my master's and then I came to the U.S.
Wow. Did you know anyone here? Was there?
Oh,
any
yes,
friends?
yes.
Okay.
I'm very intimately familiar with the U.S. I went to high school here.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, you kind of...
Yeah,
okay.
so I've
Story.
been traveling back and forth. There's a lot to unpack here.
What? So when you came here, was there a way to stay? Did you want to stay or did you want to go back when you were in high school?
There were ways to stay, but I couldn't pass on the free higher education that was available in Ukraine back then. So I kind of like went back there because like I still wanted to spend more time with my parents, with my family. I was pretty young, and like I wanted to go to school there, or like get my bachelor's and maybe do something here. Well, I don't know.
Can you speak on the nationalism or how much pride Ukrainians have about the country, and is it still there?
I feel like there is more now because of the war. Like the nationalism, the patriotism, like the levels definitely went up because people there, they do unimaginable, they do impossible because the levels of resistance are so high. Like honestly, I've never seen anything like that. For example, this winter, Russian forces did targeted strikes to destroy like all the power sources. So people were left without electricity, without the heat. People in Kyiv, Ukraine, they literally had to hit up bricks on candles to generate some sort of heat for themselves. And I mean, the level of resistance and the spirit that people shown, they would literally like gather in their backyards for like dance parties in the middle of the night in winter.
Or they even had to boil snow just to have water to drink. Sorry. Yeah, they had to like boil snow to have water because they didn't have clean drinking water.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
the message was clear. They're still fighting. They're not giving up. Like the spirits are still high.
Is the easier path to leave?
There is a pretty easy path to leave Ukraine, but a lot of Ukrainians choose not to. For example, my parents.
Wow.
My parents, they're not leaving. Like it's their home. Like
I'm sure you've asked so many times.
Oh, about 1 million. So
more often than not.
More often than not.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, they're like very brave, courageous people, and they're like, we're not giving up. This is our home. This is our country. We're staying. We're defending it, and like they're not taking away like our lives, our home, our job.
Are they participating? Are they playing an active role? Like
They're playing an active role because they both work for the government.
Wow.
So even though they're like luckily not at the front lines, but they do a lot of very important work behind the scenes, like making sure that everything functions the way it should, like as they work for the government.
Isn't that interesting that like a lot of the American people have lost hope in our government? Is there a stark contrast with that?
Like
of comparatively, right, to the Ukrainians, how like they still have so much hope and optimism and pride and they believe in the system.
They do because they have very strong leadership. I think that's the difference because we do have a president in Ukraine who may not be perfect, but he's the patriot of his people and he supports his nation in the time of war.
It's funny because some people can describe Trump like that too.
They sure can. They sure can. And we have very strong leadership in the military. So that's why people, they do feel supported. They do not feel abandoned. And they did feel very strong support from the West, at least until a point.
Yeah.
So I feel like that truly helped. But, you know, unfortunately, tragic events, they do bring people together.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And that's why... I mean, call it a conspiracy theory, but you know, these wars that are constantly going on give people something to fight for and something to believe in. And it's unfortunate that casualties have to be like that. This has to be that vessel to bring people together.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
And so when you got the whole time, did you envision yourself practicing immigration law?
Not really.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. So that journey was to be determined for me because I was trying to find a pathway where I could bring the most use for everyone. And I know that I've always liked history. I've always liked geography in school, and I've always been very good with foreign languages. So I've been like thinking where I could utilize those skills and bring the most value for my clients, for myself, for everyone. And then suddenly it just clicked to me because in the US, immigration law is like such a popular area to practice because it is the country of immigrants, despite of what anyone would say.
Not just
these days.
popular, but needed.
it's absolutely needed. And then it clicked to me. I was like, okay, like I've always been passionate about world history since I was a child, and like that's the job where the world comes to you, and that's where I could use all my languages. So it was a no-brainer.
What languages do you speak?
Well, get ready for this one.
Okay, yeah. So when it comes to speaking, I speak Ukrainian and Russian with native proficiency, then English. And then I am also quite fluent in Spanish. So I can cater to different clientele from all parts of the world.
How did that come to be?
Ukrainian's my native language. That's where I grew up. Russian became my native language, but not by choice. It's because my childhood in Ukraine fell in like 90s, and that's when we still had like that very strong like Russian propaganda when they would invade like our cultural space aggressively with their culture, with their TV, with their books. So whether you like it or not, like back when I was a child, like for example, if you're looking for some sort of entertainment, the chances are 99% chances that would be in Russian.
Okay.
So you just have to speak it with native proficiency. That's how it used to be. So that's another one of my native languages.
If you want entertainment,
not by choice.
you're gonna know that. Yeah, you're gonna learn how to speak Russian.
Yeah, so that's not by choice, but I'm appreciative of it. I'm grateful because that language is a tool that helps me to be useful for more clients around the world. And then English, obviously, I learned it at school and here in the US. And then Spanish, that's the Chicago journey to me, because I feel like Chicago has like such a strong presence of Latino culture that at some point I realized that like not speaking Spanish around here is like a crime. Like I have to learn.
I've never heard it like that, but that's interesting. Good for you.
I need to be able to walk into taqueria, panaderia, and order everything the right way.
And how long did that take for you to pick it up?
So I feel like the pandemic helped a little bit because everyone was bored back in those days. They had nothing to do. Some people like brewed beer, some people baked bread. I learned Spanish. So that was it for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So like what, 3 to 4 years?
I would say 3 to 4 years sounds about accurate, but I would say like my best Spanish tutors were like the Latinos of Chicago, because Latino community is so amazing here in Chicago. Like, for example, if your English is not so great and you're like speaking English in America, there is a very high chance that like American people would not understand you, that they would ask you to repeat, like that, like a lot of people here do not understand accents very well. Meanwhile, Latino people, like no matter how terrible your Spanish is, they will understand you. They will understand you and they will help you, and they would be like
they
so
at least
happy
appreciate the effort you're putting in.
I've heard, as opposed to the French, they have little tolerance and patience for you trying.
Perhaps, but yeah, I feel like just like the people, they were extremely helpful in like, you know, like making me feel more comfortable, like picking up the language and speaking.
Because I was going to ask like if you used apps or books or online tutors, but is this your neighbors, like or people that you work with? Like who were you talking to?
So in the beginning, I did take some online classes in COVID, so that was helpful to learn Spanish. But then after the classes, I feel like the neighborhood where I live, it's Albany Park. There is a very like dense Spanish speaking community there, lots of businesses there. They're Spanish only, so I kind of got accustomed to speaking Spanish there. And also I do really enjoy dancing salsa, bachata, cumbia, so going to various dance events, dance schools, studios where a lot of people speak Spanish. I feel like that also helped me to learn the language.
Is there some in Albany Park? Or, 'cause I know Alhambra is pretty popular too.
Alhambra is popular. That's like a social dance. And then like my home studio is called Latin Techniques. It's owned by one of my friends, and it's in Portage Park. So that's where I feel like a lot of my Spanish learning took place.
So cool. So cool. Good for you guys. And I'm sure working in hospitality kind of picked up a little bit as well.
I feel like not so much where
not as much,
we used to be. Because we used to be the Gold Coast girls when in that chapter of our lives we were the Gold Coast people.
That was chapter 1 of our lives.
That was chapter 1.
So are we thinking like steakhouse vibes, or are we like what in Gold Coast?
It was seafood and steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, a little surf and turf action.
Yeah, lots of oysters were shucked back in
Okay.
those days.
Oh, really?
Not by us.
No.
Okay. So when you immigrated here, and you were having a bunch of side quests, meeting Mia, what was going on through your head that might direct you back towards the path of law?
So I was in the beginning, I was just like trying to find the right application for my skills. So I was on that journey of figuring out what would make me the most happy, the first of all, because if I'm happy, then I bring the most value for everyone. So that was the first task that I was accomplishing, like figuring out what would make me feel accomplished, what would make me feel happy.
That could be a lifelong pursuit. Like, what did you do to put yourself in situations to identify that?
I would say meeting immigrants here in Chicago as well, just witnessing their unique journeys, their cultures. And I understood how important it is for America to have more immigrants, because this is the core of this nation, no matter what, again, anyone says these days.
Yeah.
But immigrants are the core here. So I felt like this is the area where I would feel the happiest and where I would be needed.
Can you share some of the side quests or potential options you were exploring?
So I was thinking about family law, but then
So this is already in law. Was
Yeah.
there anything outside of law that you were exploring while you were working with your bestie Mia? You know, just like how like any other side quests that could have led to other things?
No, actually,
Okay.
actually, no. I think it was a pretty quick decision for me. Like the more like we were working at the place together, the more confident I was becoming about my decision. So I wasn't really exploring
knowing that
anything.
you would have had to go back to school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that I
Okay.
eventually would have to go back to school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have was there a school that you had in mind, or for you it didn't matter?
For me, it honestly didn't matter. For me, it was about the quickest journey to get my license here in the U.S. So when I got the scholarship from the Chicago Kent College of Law, I was very grateful for the opportunity to get me from point A to point B as quick and easy as possible.
Did you still have to take the LSATs again?
No, I did not have to take the LSAT, so that was nice. But obviously, I did have to take the bar exam.
Yeah. And so, how much of your experience in schooling from Ukraine carry over?
About 0.
What? Wait, why 0?
Although
That's so
fortunately, you
wild.
only had to do 1 year schooling instead of like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's because like I did know a lot of basics, but the system was completely different here. So, for example, like when you study law in Europe, you focus heavily on like international law and the treaties and the agreement. And in America, it's more like, oh, like we don't care about international law. Like we're in charge. So it was like a little bit different vibe. And then the system's different. Like here in the United States, it's the common law, so it's a lot of like precedent law.
Okay.
In Europe, everything's like codified, so it's basically broken down in like black letter law in like various like codes and like laws. Here it's a hybrid, so like we have the precedent and we have the code.
And,
so it's different.
for me too, but anyone listening, like precedent, is that something that's happened in the past that is now in a book?
Yes, so that's the law decided by the court. So it's like what we call like a real life law, like an example from the like real life.
So is new precedent constantly being set?
Oh, of course.
Oh, wow.
More
Where do you
rapidly.
find? Is this in a book? Like, or where did they publish this?
They
or?
do. They publish those in the
my
books.
gosh.
Yes.
So you have to be up to date with
That's a lot.
all the things.
That is so much.
Yeah, and right now there are so many new precedents in this administration. Unfortunately, a lot of them, majority of them, are not in favor of immigrants, which is very heartbreaking and disappointing because the journey to becoming here legal becomes unnecessarily harder, brings a lot unnecessary suffering, which we strongly don't agree with. And unfortunately, we have to keep ourselves up to date with those precedents.
It's like weekly. almost.
Daily, I
Yeah.
would say daily.
Wow. And so, I'm sure many listeners, if not all listeners, are either immigrants themselves or children of immigrants. Why, and I guess I understand why, but like many people use the logic of my parents came the legal way, or they they did it the right way, instead of trying to just, some people come all the way from India on multiple boats to come up through the south border and then get their status that way through asylum. And some people are irritated by that, of like, you feel like they're cutting the line from people that have been waiting in line.
Well, back in the day, when some people are talking about their parents and grandparents, that line was about an inch long. It was so easy to become an immigrant.
It was
here.
A lot easier.
All you needed to do is to show up, basically.
Wow.
So the laws were a lot more relaxed. The burdens of proof were like a lot lighter.
Yeah.
And there were so many easier pathways with very short processing times.
If anything, there were incentives to come.
Absolutely. It was so easy versus now, when the system is so complex that it's impossible to navigate it on your own. And that's why you need various kinds of immigration lawyers who have like their niche practices just for that area of immigration law.
And it's a necessity to have an attorney.
I feel like these days,
or can you do it by yourself?
Well, hypothetically, the system is set up the way that you could do it for yourself, but it's virtually impossible.
Like the chances of it being denied?
Extremely high.
Wow.
Extremely high.
Okay.
It's hard to go pro se these days.
Yes, it's nearly impossible.
Hard to go what?
Pro se, that's like self-representation.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so how did you guys start? So like you left then, right? You went, like you were working together as you were going through school, and then you got your degree and you started working?
So Mia and I, we also worked together at a couple different firms, smaller and bigger law firms.
So what inspired you, Mia, to get into law? Because you're still a paralegal?
Yes.
Okay.
So this November will be 5 years in the legal field.
Okay.
You may know this being in the family, but for those who don't, my grandparents and parents, relatives, they came here from the Philippines as immigrants, like little by little, one at a time. And so that inspired me to, jump into this field with no experience, because my schooling has nothing to do with immigration. I went to school for something else, but so it's very inspiring to hear the stories of my family members, and then friends like Anna, or people I meet through like clients, or just people day to day on the street. And it's like they are coming here for pursuit of a better life, and
I would say more so a better life for their kids.
Yeah. So when you say that, so this is my way of paying it forward, because my family came here as immigrants, so this is me paying forward. And some of my relatives tell me all the time, like, oh, we're so proud of you for what you're doing, like it's great that you're doing this, and it's very beneficial for society.
But was it always through the vessel, like helping immigrants through the vessel of law? Or were there any other possibilities of helping immigrants in other ways? Like why law?
Well, when I was younger, I also considered doing family law. Then my family were like, oh, law school is expensive. Are you sure? So they kind of talked me out of it. But of course now they're like, oh, when are you going to go to law school? But yeah, kind of a full circle moment for me.
Or was it just being around Anna? Because I wouldn't be where I'm at professionally without my best buddy, who, we were pre-med in college, and we were doing this EMT thing to get our feet wet in healthcare, to get some patient care experience before going to medical school. And then side quest after side quest, we're teachers now, right?
Yeah, Anna did ask me. It was a firm we worked at. She was like, "Hey, we need a legal assistant. Would you be interested?"
I
sure did.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
So that's how it happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, almost 5 years later, I'm still in it, and I'm
Okay.
really enjoying it, and I'm learning something new every day. I mean, we both are learning something new every day.
Yeah, and so you liked the environment so much that you wanted to take it to the next level and become a paralegal?
Yes. So how it was explained to me at the time, and I'll be legal assistant for like 2-ish years before becoming a paralegal.
Like that's a prerequisite, or that's just your journey?
That's usually how it is. So
Yeah.
in order to be
Yes.
considered a paralegal, you need about 2 years of experience as a legal assistant.
Okay.
And then
However, since that was progressing rather quickly, it was about like 6 months into being a legal assistant. They were like, "Do you want to be a paralegal?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Sure."
and what does that take? What is there schooling to this? Like what do you do?
For Illinois, it is not a requirement to go to school to be a paralegal.
Okay.
It does depend state by state.
Oh wow, that's kind of odd. Does that sound good to you guys, or does that?
Well, some people do go to school to be paralegals, and then they take the exam to get a certificate. But the truth is, it's not really required, because some of the most badass paralegals that I know,
Okay.
they're the ones who just learned it in the field,
Oh, cool.
working.
Okay.
So I feel like that's the best way to go
I mean, yeah,
to
hands-on
be a great
experience.
paralegal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And to this day, Mia, like, do you still feel like law school is in your future, or do you like the balance that you have at the moment?
I like where I am at the moment, but I still toy with the idea of law school.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be more so the timing, like when is the timing right?
Sometimes I don't know if it'll ever be right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys have gone through many iterations of working together. You said a few firms.
No.
Yes.
Right? A few, is a few enough, or is it more than a few?
It was 2 firms, and then now we're finally together at the law firm at AB
Wow.
Law.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you work with another firm, what would make someone say yes to working at a firm? Like, let's say they're fresh out of school, out of law school. Should they? I guess what are one's priorities? Money, or making an impact? And where can they? Which environments can they fulfill these in?
I would say when someone is fresh out of law school, it's more so about a place that can give you the best experience, where you can learn the most. So it has to be a challenging environment for sure, when you're just like fresh out of law school.
Okay.
So I would say if I could go back and change anything, maybe I would work at a nonprofit where you help immigrants like in very high volumes and work with amazing people who are at the nonprofits. So yeah, the more challenging it is, the better it is for a recent law school grad. But also some law firms, they do have like really great resources to offer as well. It's all about the culture in the firm, about the environment. So either way, everybody's journey is very unique.
And that's something that can only be felt, like culture. Like, you can't just gather this through an interview. You kind of have to spend some time there. And then is that kind of the only way?
Well, you do, yes, because I mean, I cannot think of any place where I worked where the impression that you get at the interview is going to be the actual representation of how things are.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like some things have to be learned through the personal experience.
Yeah. But in general, is it like true that like maybe a smaller group, and I feel like this transcends law and into any industry, but the smaller the group, the more hats that you might wear, and the more experiences that you might gain?
I would would say so.
Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also from a client's perspective, I feel like selecting services at a small law firm is a way to go, because this is where they will get the attention that's needed for their case. This is where they will get good communication, and this is where they will not be just
Handed
a
off.
number in
Yeah.
a CRM system. This is where they will be a person. So I would say a small law
more
firm is the way to go.
personable.
Yes.
Interesting. And throughout these firms, when was the seed planted of like, one day I'm gonna have my own?
Honestly, to be completely honest and fair, this was never an ambition and aspiration of mine.
Okay.
The idea that I had in mind was just to find a good place to work, become a great attorney, an associate, have amazing colleagues.
Yeah.
I would say that I was pushed to this decision by the circumstances around me, because it was really hard for me to find people and colleagues whose vision of helping people would align with mine. Because what I didn't realize at the time is that I have a very precise vision of how to help people, and turns out not a lot of attorneys there match that.
How would you describe that? Would you describe that as more of a hands-on approach?
I would describe that as very personable, hands-on approach, and I believe in helping people and being effective and creative. And to me, this is more important than, for example, like creating like a certain like business structure, and spending a lot of time like working with like business coaches, working on business plans. I feel that like once you put your heart into it, once you're on the right path mentally, other things will follow.
Yeah, you'll learn on the way.
Yeah. So like as long as you have the right mindset, and as long as like your intentions are the right intentions, then like the business portion of it will just all fall into place. And at other places, like the law firm owners, they value like that business part of the law firm over the actual legal work.
Which is interesting, because as a business owner, some of the tasks that require you to be an owner might remove you from the actual job.
That is true. This is all about balance. Balance is the toughest task.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm sure it was very liberating when that seed was planted of like, okay, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah. And then also another thing is having a good team is so important. So when, for example, I do need to, like where my business owner had, it's good to have a good team in place who will handle the legal tasks appropriately, because they share the same views with me. We have the same culture.
Right.
So having a great team is extremely important.
Do firms have, those clauses or contracts in place to like where you can't poach people, you can't take clients with you? Like, was there anything like that when you decided to branch off?
Yeah, obviously. Like, normally that's how it is.
That's
like
pretty standard?
that's
Okay,
pretty standard.
okay,
It's like
okay.
once
You can't tell clients, but like, hey,
No, that
Come with
makes
me.
sense. That makes sense.
you
But
can hypothetically take some clients with you, but I never had a necessity to do that.
Right.
Potentially, like that's allowed, but
as long as all parties are agreed.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
but I did not have to do anything like that.
Yeah, but when the seed was planted, I'm sure you were brainstorming of like who would be excited to jump in this boat with me.
Well, I knew. Didn't take much time to think.
And I'm sure you didn't hesitate to jump at that opportunity.
Oh,
Yeah.
we moved into the current office on Valentine's Day, nonetheless. It was very romantic.
Yeah, we ordered a takeout.
Oh, I love that for you guys.
It was
Built
very
some furniture.
romantic.
Yes.
How long was that process to find office space? Like, were you choosy about neighborhoods? Did you just want to stay close to Albany Park? Like, what was it for you?
So at first, when I just started practicing solo, I was like searching for the best way to set up my practice, and some of my colleagues who are doing solo practices, they just work from home, and then they like whenever they need to do an in-person meeting, they do it like, for example, at a co-working space,
coffee shop,
etc. Or like through Zoom.
Okay.
But I started noticing that so many people wanted to meet in person because a lot of people have very sensitive, very confidential matters. So like that privacy and like that feeling of attorney-client privilege is very important for them. So I mean, like the whole virtual home office situation wasn't a good fit for my practice. So I tried that for about a month, and then I was like, okay, Mia, like we're going to Albany Park.
Wow.
We're finding an office, and we're doing like
so
the law firm.
when you're crunching the numbers, do you think about like how many, like you've tallied all the costs that go into running this business, like what do I have to charge, like what's an hourly rate, or how many clients do I need to fulfill this overhead?
So the thing is, I was just like so inspired by finally like doing things my own way, doing things the right way, like that vision, that I didn't even have to crunch the numbers or do anything math. Like everything just fell into place. Like things just started working out, and I'm like, okay, Mia, like we're the law firm now.
Wow.
Like people are coming. Like luckily, thank God, they're signing up, and we're able to help. We're able to expand a little bit. Hire another person to help us out. So thanks. That's the magic of it, because when your intention's right, like things just happen.
And fortunately, in the beginning, a lot of our clientele was through word of mouth.
Yeah, so a lot of clients, they were actually reaching out to me. So like I didn't even have to do any marketing at all, to be honest.
Because I was going to ask,
Yeah, because
you already had a good reputation going for yourself.
Yeah, and I was actually very touched to like what extent some people had to go to get my personal number from acquaintances to find me.
Did you have a website up yet?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Not one of my clients was like, "Oh my God, I spent hours looking for you on Instagram and Facebook, everywhere. Finally." Yeah, so they were coming to us.
The sigh of relief they had.
Wow. And yeah, you can't replicate that. And you sometimes you can't, it takes a good team, but like you can't like offload that either. Mm-hmm. That's something that comes from you.
Well, that's the magic of a solo practice of the small law firm.
Yeah.
Like the managing attorney definitely sets the tone, the culture.
Sure. At that time, when you're just starting out, was it just you two, or did you bring on anyone else on the team?
It was just Mia and I.
Wow.
And honestly, we worked together as a team so efficiently, so effectively, that we were even like having a conversation like, wow, Mia, I don't think when we worked at bigger firms, we were ever able to get out so many cases.
We were never this efficient before.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like when things are done the right way, you become so productive.
Yeah.
So we were getting so much joy and so much fulfillment, but being able to help so many people in such brief periods of time when it was so needed, when the anxiety levels were so high because of the new administration, and we were just getting one case after another, getting people out of detention. So it was truly magical.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I want to hear about, it's going to be probably hard for you guys to pick, but like, what are some of the cases, like, just can you share like some of the cases that people have come to you with?
Oh my God, I feel like we've seen it all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We can write
I
books.
guess where should we start? I mean, because like it's weird. Is ICE still going? Not in Chicago though, right? Or
not in Chicago, but still, it's not really 100% safe
so
anywhere.
Is everyone out of the detention centers then?
I wish.
No.
I wish.
No.
So many people are still detained.
So people are still detained.
We're
They
still getting the
are.
phone calls.
Yeah, we still get the phone calls. Unfortunately, a lot of immigrants, especially truck drivers, they do get detained in some of the southern states like Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona. We always tell our truck driver clients, please do not go there. Anything can happen over there at the way stations. Like you can get
There are
stopped.
checkpoints.
Yeah, you can get stopped by just regular trooper, and then they could call ICE once they hear that you speak English with an accent, which is very heartbreaking because
gosh.
it is it's racial profiling, to be frank. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that's the warnings we do have to give people these days.
Do you, and if they were to be stopped by ICE, like, is there anything they can say at all? Because from social media videos, it doesn't seem like they can say anything.
It's better
to
not
help.
to talk much,
Just don't
obviously,
talk.
with the
Okay.
law enforcement. It's okay to identify yourself. It's okay to confirm that you're not a U.S. citizen. Never, ever anyone should make a false claim to U.S. citizen. It's a
Okay.
huge issue. For example, like if
Okay.
ICE asks you, are you a U.S. citizen? You say yes. Big
that
problem.
can backfire very
Never,
fast.
never.
And
yeah.
at this point, is ICE wearing body cams too? Are they recording anything?
They're supposed to. They're supposed to, but I'm not sure if that's actually happening. So
So then does it become a
Yet
game
to see
of...
proof of that. Yeah.
Does it become a game of he said, she said then?
unfortunately, yes. And again, like so many people ask me how to act when I'm apprehended by ICE, what to do, what to say. And unfortunately, it's so hard to give a universal advice because so many things depend on like that specific interaction with the officer, who you get, how much training they have, how well informed they are about the laws, about like different categories of the immigrants. So much depends on their training because there are so many people here who have permission to stay here, who have legal status, and they get picked up by ICE nonetheless because ICE has such poor training and they don't understand people's documents. So it's really challenging to give advice these days.
So if they have status, they just aren't unfortunately carrying paperwork on them, or how does that work?
Even if they are carrying paperwork,
They just
can
still get
picked up.
detained? Why? Wait, what? Like if they have paperwork and they present the paperwork, why are they still being detained?
That's the question we ask
Every day.
ourselves each day.
Every single day.
So okay, and then if they are detained, is it if they have their paperwork, why and they show it, like why isn't anyone releasing them?
That's also a good
That's
question.
also a good
That's
question.
the silence.
That's
the
the reality
silence
of
was
today.
strong.
That's the reality
Yeah.
of today.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That is how we get creative to find ways to, try to get them
So
released.
what more do they need? Oh, like that's insane.
Unfortunately, even U.S. citizens also got detained these days. This is the
Not
reality
too
we
long
live
ago,
in, and it's unfortunate.
Attorney who is a citizen was detained.
Yes, even an attorney was detained in California. So a very, very low standards to training of the ICE officers these days. They do not receive the best instructions. I feel like they definitely need.
Yeah,
more
it's also
structure.
just a side tangent. Like it's just very surprising to see people of color, but also immigrants like join ICE.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
Wow. What if you were a bystander? Some neighborhoods have gotten whistles to alert the neighbors of ICE presence and things like that. They're recording. People say record sideways to get as much in the footage as possible. Is there anything that they should say or do or observe to obviously stay safe, but maybe help out the person being detained?
I would say the most they could do these days is to record, to collect that evidence, to be witnesses. I would say I would definitely advise against trying to intervene aggressively because that could be
It could
very
escalate.
dangerous. Yes, because ICE are still law enforcement officers. They're federal officers. They could use force. So I would advise all the bystanders to, of course, be very careful because they would be more useful as witnesses rather than the victims.
Yeah.
So definitely they should record and they should pay attention to everything what's happening.
Or do you guys know Kat Abu Ghazali?
Yeah, I've heard
in
about
the
her.
9th district.
Yes, yes.
And she, I think, congressional. She's running for a congressional seat at the moment. I think she's undergoing or is in process of being federally indicted for protesting.
Yes, I did hear
so
about that.
if you're in Kat's position or you're being federally indicted, how worried should you be?
I'm, of course, extremely worried. I mean, once you're indicted by the grand jury, that's not good.
Really?
That's not good. But I mean, because I do still believe in justice here in the United States. We have amazing, fantastic judges in the United States on state and federal level who are fantastic at applying law at facts. So I do believe in good outcomes, but I still would not wish upon anyone to go through the system to be the defendant in the criminal proceeding, because this is probably one of the most unfortunate, heartbreaking experiences one could go through. But I do believe in our judges, and I do believe in system, because it's been proven over and over again, because federal judges have overturned so many, for example, executive orders where the president exceeded power, for instance, or like other laws that weren't fair to immigrants. So I would be worried for somebody who has to deal with an unfortunate situation like that, but I'm still very hopeful that the justice will prevail here.
Wow. What are some typical, and I'm sure it's all over the place, but timelines for, let's say, when you say yes to a client, how long can some of these journeys take?
It definitely depends on the case type.
Like, what's the longest? Like years?
Yes.
Wow.
Especially if they're in court, it can take years.
Oh, absolutely. I was just checking my calendar for individual hearings, and as of right now, my calendar runs up to 2029. So I have dates scheduled in 2029, and finger crossed they will not get canceled and they will take place, because more often than not, dates also do get pushed back.
And individual hearings are the ones where there is a final decision made, or like ideally a final decision
It's
is
like
made
the
on
merits
case.
hearing where the actual case gets decided. Also, the backlog is massive. So if, for example, you're applying for everything with administrative agency with the USCIS, if, for example, someone's not in the court and they just want to file their application, the backlog is very significant. So some people have to wait 4 or 5 years to finally get some sort of relief, some sort of answer.
Some people have been waiting 10 years just for an interview.
Yes, that's also extremely common. Some of the asylum seekers who filed their applications back in the day, they've been waiting for over 10 years just to be interviewed.
And circumstances have changed.
Can you elaborate? Interviewed by who?
By the immigration.
Immigration.
Yes, because when it comes to seeking asylum, depending on how someone entered the country, you can either seek asylum in front of the administrative agency, which is USCIS, or you have to seek asylum in court, which is the EOIR, the immigration court.
And both can take a very long time.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And the time frame taking long can backfire for the applicant because things can change in their home country. So it can be very complicated, to say the least.
I can't imagine, how hard is it, like, when clients come to you with their situation and you have to, like, what reasons would you say no to, if you say no to any?
We would say no to cases that do not have legal basis, that do not have merit. So, for example, people come to us thinking they do have an asylum claim because they experienced some sort of unfortunate situation back home. But, for example, it does not fit the definition of an asylum. So we have to say sometimes, yeah, we understand what happened to you is unfortunate, but this is not asylum by law. So this is not the kind of case that we could take. But we could also explore other options and see if there is anything else we could do.
Could they, and then what if they like, oh, but I forgot to tell you about this detail and that detail, and then like kind of like,
well, then that can change things.
Yeah, because we could explore other options for relief for them. Sometimes things people didn't even know they were eligible for, and it happens more often than not. For example, people have a certain idea of how to get legal status. Then they come to me and we explore that idea. We understand that it's wrong, but I have another
and that's
option.
why we're here.
Yeah, but then I have a list of questions that I usually ask people, and I try to screen everyone the best I can to make sure that we're not missing out on any possible avenues for the relief.
Okay. Could you be an immigrant without legal status but still work and could you have a social security number and still pay Medicare, Medicaid, like pay into Social Security?
that's unfortunately the majority of our immigrants.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
And I
yes.
wonder, and maybe I just was ignorant to it, but like, I don't know how many people, like if the mass people know that these aren't just freeloaders. That
Oh,
these
they
are,
absolutely
that these
aren't.
are these are people
No.
that are contributing
Oh,
to
a lot
society.
of yeah, they are, hard workers. They are taxpayers. They are
Yeah.
community members.
Yeah.
I would say, even from our observations, we've run into so many clients who are U.S. citizens and they're not filing their taxes. And in the meantime, we
have to scold them.
and we have to scold them. And we're like, hey, if you want to sponsor your spouse, you have to go and file your taxes. Go pay your taxes,
Stop
and then
committing tax fraud.
and then sponsor your spouse after you pay your taxes. And we have to break it down to U.S. citizens. And in the
wow.
meantime, we do not have the same issue with our immigrants because they all pay taxes.
Oh my God.
Funny how that works, right?
Even without having a social, they go get an 18 number and they pay taxes.
They find ways to do it.
Oh. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Breaking news.
Yeah, so those are the realities that a lot of people, I'm sure, not aware.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I said when we started the episode, of like, how do you find the time to compartmentalize or reclaim some of yourself and almost like separate yourself from work if, you see headlines and social media is all about this? It's like, how do you take care of yourself through this process?
I would say strangely enough,
Unless, you ride and die, like this is your passion. It's like,
No, I mean, this is emotionally taxing job.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is rewarding. Anna and I, we both like working out, going to the gym. As Anna said, she likes to dance.
Right.
So you can find her at social dances.
Yeah.
You can
Wow.
find me climbing.
Right.
yeah, we're both pretty active.
You make the time.
We make the time,
You
and
have
also
to
we
make
get
that balance.
Yeah, we get immense support from our clients too, because they are so extremely grateful for
Yeah.
what we do. And we get so many warm words of support, of encouragement. They bring us the best treats from their countries. They bake us cakes. They make us pies. They they really, really help us a lot to
Because
detox a
this
little
isn't
bit.
an area of law that is typically filled with clients that are affluent, that have a lot of money.
Yes and no.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes and no. Some of the immigrants, of course, especially people who are newcomers for the country, of course, like their situation could be not as fortunate. But let's not forget, immigrants are extremely hardworking people.
Yeah.
And a lot of our clients, they set up successful businesses without even having any legal status, where they collect millions of income.
Wow.
Very successful companies. So I would say, like, this is usually an assumption that a lot of people have, that like that's not like the area
It's not
of
true,
law
yeah.
where the clients could
Oh,
afford
cool.
to pay the fees, but not always like that, because immigrants are extremely creative. They're
Yeah.
extremely successful.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are extremely intelligent. They do have good jobs, even without documentation. They do have successful businesses. So yeah, they bring a lot of value to the country, to the community, to everyone.
Yeah. Is this an area of law that you feel like you're like on call at times? Do you feel like if your phone rang, like you'd pick up?
Oh, I do pick up.
And,
Yes.
or like in the sense of like it could be an emergency. Like we know like a criminal defense attorney. So like if someone's like just got locked up, they would call.
Of course, especially with detentions that are happening all over the country still, we do have to be very alert. We do instruct our clients. For example, we say like, hey, if you get a speeding ticket in a school zone, that's not an emergency. So like, but if you're in handcuffs and they're taking you to a detention facility, that is an emergency.
And what isn't.
Yeah, because for a lot of people are so worried and anxious about their migration process that everything's an emergency
Sure.
to them. So I mean, we do have to kind of like draw that line between like real emergency and
Yeah.
like internal emergency.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have to be on call
Wow.
more than we would like.
Sure. So you said that your calendar's kind of mapped out already to 2029. But on a day-to-day level, like, are you thinking one day ahead, a week ahead, a month ahead?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So with some cases I have to strategize, and some cases are on my mind and I don't even have a hearing until like next year, and I'm already like mapping out, thinking a strategy in my head. With some cases I'm like, hey, we're gonna take it one day at a time, because it's so unstable. There are so many variables in your situation. So let's just take it day by day, because immigration law is so diverse. Like each area is so unique that it's just no like catch-all approach. You have to be very strategic.
And who do you have to make the case to? Is it a judge, or is it the immigration office? Like who is it in front of a jury? Are you litigating? Like how does that work?
So there are no juries.
Okay.
For immigration cases, it's administrative law. If I do litigate, it's in front of the immigration judge in the immigration court. But those are not the only kind of cases we handle. We also have a lot of affirmative cases with United States Citizenship Immigration Services. So for those kind of cases, sometimes the work is just done on paper, depending on the case type. So we just prepare a petition, we make sure it's very robust, and then we file it on behalf of client and respond to any requests of evidence and such. Sometimes we accompany people for administrative hearing at the administrative agencies like naturalization, green card interviews, and we prepare and we make sure that they know what to expect from the interview, and then I as an attorney go with them and just make sure their rights are.
And how often are you playing translator too?
I'm not allowed to.
Oh,
She cannot wear both hats.
I didn't know that.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not allowed. So we
interesting.
have to get a separate translator, and then
Like an unbiased, like a third party.
Yes,
unbiased?
yes,
Interesting.
because attorney cannot translate. I can communicate with them.
That's so
in their
interesting
native
because like
language.
you're kind of working on their behalf, so you have their best interests in mind, right?
Exactly.
Like,
So that's why I cannot translate, because the idea is like my translation could be a bit off because it would be way too in favor.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
But isn't that the point though? Like you're on their side. You're their attorney.
Yes, but the officer has to hear everything they say word to word. That's
Yeah.
I guess.
So like even the translator will have like a backup
transcript
translator.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, for example, if it's an asylum interview, you have to bring your own interpreter, and then there is an interpreter who's like a monitor on the phone to make sure that the interpretation is correct.
That's wild. I feel like I had aunts or uncles that had a side job translating for the courts. And things like
That's
that.
really cool. Yeah,
Right.
it's not that easy to be a court translator because, for example, whoever can translate at the immigration, like administrative agency, if it's like an interview, but to be a court-appointed interpreter, that takes certifications. That is very, very hard because sometimes they have to be do like a simultaneous translation, and that
What
takes
does that
a lot
mean?
of skill.
What do you mean?
So, for example, like they do not wait until like you're done talking to translate your sentence. They translate like in real time as you speak.
Whoa. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of like at the UN, like when everyone's
yes,
like
yes.
listening live.
That's how it is at the immigration court.
Oh my God, that's a lot. Wow, I'm impressed. That's amazing. What are some, if you can think of like 3 quick cases off the top of your head, like right now that you're working on, that you're preparing for, strategizing for, what things need to be in place for you to have a winning shot at these cases?
So I would say 50% is the client themselves, because so much depends on their cooperation, on how emotionally they are invested in their case and how important it is to them. I feel like that is the core, because no matter what good of a job I will do, no matter how much luck we will have moving forward, in the end, for example, if it's in the court, it's about how the client will give the testimony. That testimony will be like the deciding factor. So I would say if it's somebody who's really serious about their immigration matter, somebody who's ready to work with us as a team versus just expecting that everything will resolve itself now when they have a lawyer.
And that's felt through your initial consultation?
Usually, yes. That's why we insist on in-person consultations, because not only that's the most confidential, secure way to gather the necessary information, that's when we also kind of make that determination, are we going to be good working as a team together moving forward. So we do offer Zoom consultation as well, because we work with clients in all 50 states. So if somebody is out of town, then of course we could do Zoom.
How does that work? Don't you need the bar in every state, or?
Oh, federal.
Yeah,
federal.
immigration is federal. So it's all across the board.
Oh.
Yeah. So
We have clients
Well, this is news to me. That's interesting.
Florida, Michigan, California, Oregon.
So when you say you have
everywhere.
dates booked to 2029, a lot of these are online meetings, or are they in-person meetings?
Oh, so those are the courts.
These are courts, so
those
in
are
person?
the courts. So some of the courts, they have to be in person. Some courts are virtual through WebEx.
Are you flying? You're flying all these places?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. For example, I did fly to court in Miami in October. Then I have an immigration interview in Tampa that I'm flying to pretty soon.
Like
Wow.
2 weeks.
Yeah, in about 2 weeks. But some stuff you could do remotely. So, for example, if it's just like a master calendar hearing, you could do it through WebEx, which is kind of like a Zoom app. So, so it really depends. But definitely, we've done cases in Colorado, in California, in Texas, and I was able to do that remotely.
And so when you say 50% is showing up, am I assuming correctly in that some clients just don't show up to their hearings or to their meetings, or or they're just not as emotionally invested as they need to be? Physically they must show up, because if they don't show up, they will get deported. That's usually how it works.
And that's what we tell them.
Yeah, show, you get deported. It's that simple.
Oh no.
So like once we're past that and they did show up, it's a lot about the preparation, gathering evidence, because there is only, for example, so much evidence that I can gather on my own on behalf of my client. Usually they have to provide me with good evidence, and then it's my job to know how to use it like the best I could do with it.
So an evidence could be in the form of bills or employment verification or marriage license?
It depends on the case.
Depends on the case.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it could be anything. It could be like third-party testimonies, affidavits, various documents.
News articles.
About what? News articles about what?
For example, for asylum seekers, we've had
about their country, about issues in their own country?
Yeah, like most of the time we do country conditions research, and we usually pull those news articles, but we've definitely had clients in the past who were featured like in newspapers, in different websites, magazines, whatever, about their situation. So sometimes they have to provide that, for example, if it's like a more interest in asylum journey.
Yeah. Wow. That's so tough, because a lot of Americans feel like their government isn't supporting them, and that their government is supporting immigrants, as important as they are, more so than the Americans. That's a common thing I hear on social media as well.
Well, that's not the side of the story that we see, unfortunately. Yes. I mean, usually I would say like the support that immigrant community gets usually comes from within, from other immigrants. It definitely does not come from the government.
I guess, from a bird's eye perspective, granting asylum is more in the eyes of an American common than, let's say, helping a veteran or a homeless individual out with resources. Like those are the common particulars that I'm hearing and seeing.
Like the comparisons.
Yeah,
being
like when
made.
people are comparing, like they're kind of comparing those two examples.
Right, but here you have to think in a little bit broader perspective, because asylum is the right that people have, and it's embedded in international conventions. So if you live in a democratic country that's aimed to respect the law and help others, then a country like that has to give asylum to people who need it. And I love the United States. It's my favorite country in the world. And I feel like oftentimes people do not understand how blessed we are here with the resources that we have, with the things that we have. So a lot of people oftentimes cannot comprehend that there are people out there who cannot survive in their country of origin because of their nationality, because of their race, because of their religion, their political views, their social group. So those people, they cannot even preserve their own life. And I feel like on the scale of, maybe paying unemployment benefits and saving a life of a human being, to me, saving a person's life is more important.
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Oh man. What would you say to someone that says, I want to leave. I want to leave the U.S. U.S. is awful right now.
So that's a very sad question to me, because maybe like a year and a half ago, I would say, don't leave. Absolutely not. We're fighting. We're doing this. We're getting you your documents. Like, don't you ever give up. I'm here for you. We're fighting. But lately, so many people have told me that, and the reasoning they gave me made so much sense. Like, I've had women approach me, women who are mothers who have little kids, and they're like, I cannot live like this anymore. I cannot go to grocery store in fear that ICE squads will pick me up and put me in detention. What are my kids gonna do? I would rather go to a third country where I could be safe, but I came here to the United States to avoid jail, to avoid prison in my home country, and they're trying to do just that to me here. So in that case, I do understand, and I've even assisted people to leave legally to preserve like the possibility to come back to United States later when it's safer, so people can find that safety in a third country, because it is very unfortunate. Like, some of my asylum seekers, they were afraid of arbitrary detention that's happening in their home country, and here they could be put in a similar position for absolutely no reason.
So are they going back to their home country or to another asylum, country?
Sometimes they go, more often than not, they go to different countries where they could get residency easier, or where they have friends or family who could help them. And it's very unfortunate, and I have never seen anything like this before until recently.
We also have heard that they would rather go to a third country than be in detention here again, because the conditions were just absolutely terrible.
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of our clients have gotten sick at the detention centers, and they've reported not the best treatment. So in those situations, we understand. And like sometimes with the mandatory detention that this administration tried to put in place recently, so many people had to wait for their final court dates in detention. They couldn't even get bond. So the spirits of many people were broken, and they were like, I just want to leave. I just want to go back home. Like, because it's very tragic when a person without criminal history, a person who never broke the law, especially, for example, people who were brought here as children, so that was not even their conscious choice to come to the country without the proper paperwork. And they were the ones who ended up in detention without ever breaking any laws, and like having to be in that situation for months. That seemed very unfair. And like, we also did understand those people when they said like, hey, I don't want to fight no more. I just want to leave. I just want to be a person, a free person, and live my life.
Yeah, and to play to play devil's advocate, and you can tell me if this feels like a complete conspiracy, but like I saw a headline where there was a physician that was contracted, like they would have Airbnbs, and they would contract a physician to deliver immigrant babies inside the home, and you can find probably websites on the dark web of like setting up a pathway to get to the U.S., have a baby, and then your child is a citizen.
Oh, the birth immigration. Yeah, that's why we have so many issues right now with the birthright citizenship. Yeah, because it became like a thing for many people to travel to the United States, whether illegally or on the visa, and have a baby here.
Wow. Became trendy almost.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, things like, unfortunately, things like that have been happening, and they will happen, because there will always be people in any community, no matter whether it's like the American community, the immigrant community, who would look for those loopholes in the law. Yeah. But luckily, the percentage of those people is usually so small. Like, would it make a headline of a news articles? Yes. But would I say that it's such a mass issue that requires immediate attention and change in the U.S. Constitution? Absolutely no.
Yeah, I think I saw another one. Probably isn't as mass or isn't part of the mass, but like different tiers, different levels of packages that you could, of mules, of like how luxurious do you want your immigration trip to be? You know, do you want to be taken care of? Do you want or do you want to struggle? Do you want to struggle a bit? And it's just like, what? Like people are profiting off of people's desire to gain citizenship in the U.S.
Unfortunately, that has always been this way, not just in the United States, in other countries too, because in any state where there is immigration, where like there is a high volume of people coming in, things like that would happen. So that's why in the United States there is pretty good legislation in place against human trafficking, as well as various forms of relief for people who suffered that human trafficking, who can get some sort of relief after that. So of course it's unfortunate to see that there are people out there who do those things.
Yeah.
Some of them are U.S. citizens as well. Some of them are not. It depends. There are different people in any community, but again, it's about what kind of people comprise the majority of the community. And I feel like with the immigrants, it's usually very hardworking, good people that are definitely an asset to any state, any city.
Right. Is there anything that you'd like to share that we haven't covered yet?
I would say the advice that I would give to people who do not have legal status these days, or for example, maybe people who have parents without the legal status, or a relative they really care for, I would say do not wait, because some people think like, oh, maybe like I just have to lay low during this administration, not get on their radar, and then like in 3 years I'll do something. Not the best way to go about it. I would say laws are changing every single day, unfortunately not for the best. So right now there are still opportunities, and there are still ways to be legal the right way by following the procedures, and a lot of people are eligible for a lot more than they think. So I would say I would advise not to put things on hold and take action.
Oh, I love that.
I would say please do not seek the help of a notario or...
Ooh, what is that? What's a notario?
Oh, that's such a big issue these days, because there are so many people in various communities who advertise their immigration services.
Who are not licensed legal professionals, and the people who hire them... it ends up backfiring, and it ends up causing more issues.
So they're more
the line.
they claim they're like a consultant, they're not an attorney?
Yes.
More or less.
Yeah, so they usually advertise themselves as immigration law specialist. They're not. Or like an advisor. And some of them even have like thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram, which is very terrifying, because those people have zero liability, they have zero licensing, and they can make pretty much whatever representations they want, because they will not be held accountable for that. And they usually charge people fees for their services, and they disappear. They create all sorts of trouble for their paperworks. And a lot of immigrants, they don't know any better. They don't know how to tell the difference between somebody who has licensing to do this kind of work and who doesn't. And a lot of time it's people from the community who take advantage of the members from their own community by offering those services. So we urge people to stay away from them.
Was that a Spanish word? Notario? What is that? I've never heard that word.
I don't know the origin of the
How
word,
do you
to be
spell it?
honest.
It's a Spanish word. Yeah, it's like a notary, but notario.
Oh,
Notario.
so Notario.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
notario.
yes,
Oh, okay.
notario.
Interesting. Is there anything else that you'd like to embark on the listener? Impart?
Yeah, I would just say like it's time to be strong, time to be resilient.
Yeah.
And we do believe that better things are yet to come. That this is a phase in immigration law that's just meant to bring us together, make us stronger. But we do believe in better and brighter things.
You know, it's so surreal to be able to watch war through our phones in 4K. And most people, I think you guys are in an interesting position, but and maybe I'm not giving as much credit to everyone as I am, but and when you see these things, like, you're not able to do anything about it, and you kind of have to just like go about your day.
Well, with lawyers, it's not necessarily true.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because we do change
and that's
things.
What I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But like what I was saying is like maybe there's more that we can do that I'm not thinking of. But you
Like
guys
the
obviously
average person
have
may
like how
not.
direct of an impact can you have? After seeing some of the atrocities that are going around the world, it's like how frustrating is it to still see the Ukrainian war still going on?
Oh, absolutely. It's been 4 years.
And like. And one of our colleagues like went over there to volunteer as a paramedic.
Oh wow!
Wow.
And there are nonprofits and organizations that host all types of professionals to go out and help with the mission. But it's like I wonder if there are deeper things at play too, like beyond what we know of, like, why is this war still going on? Like how long can it go on? And who is this serving? And but at the same time, I appreciate the pride that the Ukrainians have, and I wonder if, like how prideful the U.S. was after the 9/11. It's just like it's how unfortunate that it took a war, took an atrocity, lives that were casualties, for a group to come together.
Oh yeah.
And maybe this is a cop out, but like I try to tell myself, when I realize like where can I have a direct impact? And so, that could be being a good husband to my wife, Justine, being a good dog dad, being a good employer, entrepreneur, being a good team member to my team, and being a good teacher to the students, like being a good neighbor, essentially. But I don't know, that just helps keep my sanity, I guess.
I think just being a good person and spreading that positivity, it radiates, and it does have a domino effect. I like to hope so anyways.
Yeah, because it could feel hopeless at times, and you guys have shown that like you're still hopeful and you're still optimistic.
Yeah, we still are. Cases are still getting approved.
Yeah.
People are still being granted relief.
Okay.
Our hard work, it does pay off. It just became a lot harder to do this work, but it's happening. We're doing it.
Where can people find you guys if you want to be found?
So we're located on the north side of Chicago. Our address is 3525 West Peterson Avenue, Suite 218 in Chicago. And usually we work by appointment only. So in-person visits, they are preferred. We could also do Zoom for anyone who's further away. We do have Instagram. We do have our website, so we could be easily found online. Just Google AB Law, or you can also look me up, Anastasiia Bilousko. I'm the attorney there. So we have plenty of social media presence and resources of how people could contact us and reach out.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I appreciate you sharing. Doesn't have to be the last time. If you guys want to come back and update us on,
we'd be delighted.
We can
the
come
happenings,
back for part 2.
let me know. But also, like, if you feel like, replace me with someone else you feel like you'd have a meaningful conversation with.
You cannot be replaced.
No, it's not possible.
No, I'm just saying. And I'm just saying, like, what if there was a success story with a client, and they wanted to come and share.
Oh,
if they're comfortable with that, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Just like success stories.
Yeah, of course, because some people have no problem waiving that attorney-client privilege and sharing their journey with others.
Yeah.
Because it can have a great impact. We do have people who spent decades in this country thinking that they're not eligible for anything, and now they fly back home to Mexico and they bring us the best tequila from out there.
Oh.
So we do have those success stories
Hint,
too.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Give Anna and me a follow, AB Law a follow, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Victor.
you. Take care.